Yeah, I think that the question around intersectionality and the stories around Black women and what gets left out in particular, I think about in terms of a contemporary iteration. So if we think about the sexual exploitation and the violence that Black women experience, and how little that is the topic of outrage. How little we hear Black women's voices that ring out, in the, as critical race scholar Kimberly Crenshaw, coined the Say Her Name movement to illuminate the fact that while Black women are victims of police violence, that they are disproportionately are experiencing this violence, we still are not, as a culture and as a community, getting behind really the outrage that we need to. And I think that this is absolutely a legacy of enslavement and the ways in which Black women's bodies were really the key. And it was key to excuse a way to pretend to see for so many different people, the vehicles of creating additional profits. So we can see this also in, missing Black women as well. And we can think about also, this is not just with Black women, this is with other women of color, certainly with the movement now for us to understand how the media doesn't shine a light on not just missing Black women, but missing and murdered Indigenous women as well. The stories and the narratives that we tell ourselves about who is important. What we're learning here is that Black women and other women of color, Indigenous women, are not important in the eyes of the country, that we need to spend our time thinking about white women's bodies when we're thinking about, who do we put attention towards for the media. So that's certainly a part of our contemporary legacy, and what we can all do is demand a very different view of the media, and certainly this is what community groups did pretty recently ago. That there was a white woman who was tragically murdered, and the world stopped to find out exactly what happened. And there was a ton of media attention on this young woman. And there were Black women activists and Indigenous women activists that said, wait a second, we've been trying to get this same attention for forever and managed to at least let the issue be known. And yet it was a blip. Right, we heard it for a blip, but there's not the same type of sustained attention towards our lives. And so we really need to have that type of sustained investment in our lives, in our health.